Hey guys, Brandon Schaefer here, and in front of me here is all the paint that I use. But I've been getting the same question by so many people with, I can't recall the amount of emails, Facebook messages, YouTube comments, all have the same or a similar question about how much paint do I put on my palette when I go to do a painting? And how long does it stay dry? Do I use any mediums to keep it wet longer, etc.? So I'm just going to put these questions to rest, or at least just make a video that would be helpful. So check it out. And this is the kind of paint I use. So this is the kind of paint I use if anybody's wondering if it's a special kind of paint. I use all different kinds. So there's the basics, Blick, and then I have a big white thing of golden. Alright, let's get into it. So for the most part, I use a lot more white most of the time than any other color. It kind of just depends on what painting I'm doing. What's the painting of? Is there a lot of green green grass? Is there a lot more sky, etc.? Alright, I apologize for the shaky camera here. So for the white, now if you're using a tube of white just like this, this is the amount I'm going to show you. So, you know, I use this to start with. Big glob of white like that. And this is a, what number brush is this? A number 10. So there's a size. That's how much white I usually use. Next is the red. If I can open this. That much, that's all it takes. I don't usually put a lot of paint down when I first squeeze them out onto the palette. I'm using this paper bag here because my regular palette, there's so much paint on it, dried paint, from me squeezing out so much and not using it, etc. So it'd be hard for you to tell. Now this is phthalo blue. Don't normally use a lot of phthalo blue, it's very strong, so a little dab will do. That's all it takes. The red is also very strong, so not much red there. You can see there's a lot more white because I tend to use white you use with every other color. It makes sense that you might need more of it, especially if you're doing like a blue sky, like I said earlier, or any kind of sky. You're going to use a lot of white. Next is ultramarine. This one I tend to use probably about the same amount as phthalo, so just a little bit there. And the question, or one of the questions, is that do I use anything, how long does it stay wet? Well, it stays wet long enough for me. Usually, actually, I use all the paint that I squeeze out. That's the thing. Usually I have to squeeze more paint out. Now yellow, I do a lot of nature scenes, and a lot of it has a lot of green, a lot of yellows, tans, etc. So I tend to squeeze out more yellow to begin with. Probably about that much. So maybe almost like double or a third more than the other ones. Now that's all that I use. That's my palette, that's the colors I use, that's how much. It stays long for at least an hour to 2 hours. It'll stay wet, excuse me. There it is. That's the question. That's the answer to the question that everybody's been wondering. Now, with acrylic, you can't really squeeze out a bunch of paint because it's hard to save it for later unless you have like a stay wet palette, which I do. I got one for Christmas and I might end up using it eventually and showing you guys that. But until then, I recommend squeezing out a little bit, and if you do need more, it's no big deal to just squeeze out some more and mix up some more paint. Because with these colors, you're going to have to mix to make anything look natural or to get any color. If you're going to make purple, you're going to have to mix these. If you make orange, green, usually you'll use all these colors to make a green, you'll use all these colors to make a purple, all these colors to make an orange. Because in nature and almost anything you paint, it's going to be neutralized. So if you make a green, blue and yellow, it's going to be a very saturated green, a very true green. And usually greens in nature and greens in general aren't that powerful. So you're going to have to add in a little bit of red to it. See what I'm saying? You use all these colors. And the two different blues, that just gives you a little bit of different tones to work with. This blue is a lot stronger, I feel. A little bit goes a long way. Anyway, hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. Take care of yourself. Peace.